Welcome to Introverse.
Dude, I'm not even gonna. I was contemplating whether or not I was going to tell you this, but right before I sat down here, I was watching your mom dance to Brick House.
Oh God!
On Instagram,
that Instagram video. You got to share it with Greg. I think she got quite a few hits on that.
Man, she was going to town. I mean, she threw her hat off at the end and everything.
I can't look at it. I can't.
It was almost.
I can't look at it. It makes me cringe.
Hey, look, she is proud of her weight loss.
She is proud. She lost a lot of weight, Greg. She lost I don't know.
And look, I mean, more power to her. It was a TikTok video, no less. Your mom is on TikTok dancing.
Wow.
And yeah, I was impressed. She had some moves, man.
Yeah, that's an old video though. I think like 2 years old.
Is
or
it?
Something.
Then why is it coming up in my feed?
Mm-hmm. Well, unless she did another one, I don't know. But I know she did. That was one of the first ones she did, and like she got. I don't remember. She got quite a few hits on it,
right?
And then that's what fueled that social media fire in her.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I should follow. I think she follows me. I need to follow back to make sure the algorithm serves that up to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. You don't want to miss that. It's good stuff.
I let her know that she was on last week's episode. She's happy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Also, it'll get her to listen.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
Oh, check it out.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're rocking the TLV cast tee.
Yeah.
Wow. Only how many of those were made?
3.
I was gonna say y'all had merch this whole time.
Yeah. Check it.
Oh man,
it was like a
old
TV screen.
Little
squiggly lines.
I have one somewhere. You bought me one, and it's somewhere.
We had a giant bed, a giant comforter for your bed with our faces on it. You could buy. That was pretty funny.
That's pretty important right there.
Yeah. It was like $400.
Man. Not bad.
The idea was if one person bought it, it would fund the.
Yeah, we just needed one.
Yeah, it would fund the podcast for a year. So
come on, Mom, support the podcast.
Anybody have trips planned? Going anywhere?
I do. You want to know specifics?
I mean, it is a podcast. I mean, you don't have to share specifics.
Let me tell you how small talk works. The little random question gets thrown out, and you just drip out little details.
Details. I think
it's a new thing. It's new to me as well.
Right.
I try it out.
Yeah, it's like an experiment.
Bit.
It's an experiment I was trying. Little tidbits.
I mean, not to put my business out there, but I have a show in Columbia, Tennessee tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. I saw the ad for that.
Nice
Poster.
That's my big thing. I have no fans that I know of in Columbia, Tennessee.
Where is Columbia?
So
not yet. You don't. Tomorrow you will.
It's like 45 minutes to an hour south of Nashville.
Okay. So I've probably driven through it then, interstate wise.
Yeah, you would have on 65 come up and kind of been through. It's like a smaller town. I don't think like I couldn't invite like Nashville people to this Columbia show.
Well, if you have some,
I mean, I guess I could.
You could.
But I don't have diehards.
Yeah.
I don't have diehards.
If I lived in your vicinity, Greg, I would drive, and I would go check it out. I'm just saying.
I'd ride with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We would
carpool.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd carpool
to your show.
Yeah.
Check it out.
We would offer it up to anyone else too. Maybe rent a van.
Just a caravan.
U-Haul. We could just bring a crew.
Pile everyone in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
A mystery machine type situation.
Yep.
I like that.
That'd be dope.
No, this weekend I don't have anything planned. I was sick last week during the recording, and I'm just now getting over it.
I'm going to Virginia in a week. Well, week and a half to visit my my grandbaby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Papa Robi show.
Yeah, looking forward to that trip.
Still has that new baby smell.
Yeah, she should definitely have the new baby smell. My sister is also having another child soon.
Wait, I didn't know she had a first child.
My baby sister has 3 currently, and she's about to have her 4th. Yes. Yeah, she is just
maybe I knew that.
Popping them out. Speaking of siblings, we haven't talked about siblings on the show yet, and I believe all of us
have them. Yeah, I have a couple.
I only have 1.
You have 1. I have 4.
Yeah.
I have 2.
4.
Yes, 4. House full. Almost the Brady Bunch.
Almost. How much younger are they?
My baby sister is 10 years younger than me. And there's
the youngest
3 others in between there. We're all about 2 years apart. The next one down is 3 years younger than me. So I kind of helped. I was 3 when she was an infant. So I was 5 when she was 2. And, I kind of felt like I was raising her. Not raising her. Obviously, my mom raised her, but I was helping a lot.
You did a lot of help, yeah.
We went a lot of places with a lot of kids. Let's just say that.
Were you in a situation where you had to babysit them a lot?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I did too. So I was the oldest as well. And there was a phase when my mom went back to college. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how old I was, 13 maybe? And then it was like, all right. So she was gone with school. My dad was working these situations. And I felt like during those years, I was always babysitting them. Which is a nightmare because you're not a babysitter. You're their brother.
Right.
And they take advantage and they push the limits.
Yeah, and you want to punch them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you probably did.
But you can't. Yeah. No, I don't think I ever hit them. Not in those situations.
I could have sworn I've
hit my brothers. I have absolutely hit my brothers, but not when I was babysitting them.
Right, because you felt the responsibility. Like, if one of them...
I knew something could if something could happen.
Right.
This was also around the time frame when Rescue 911 was popular on TV with William Shatner.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
So I had tremendous fear when I was babysitting them that they would choke on a marble. Or something like that, or they would cut their wrist with a knife,
purposefully or accidentally?
Like accidentally.
Okay,
just like running around the house and
slicing.
They fall on the knife and it stabs them in the stomach, and then I got to call William Shatner on 911, and that show terrified me.
Yeah, I remember it.
Go down that rabbit hole, but
very specifically, Rescue 911.
Yeah,
it was very dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was terrifying about it?
Well, these situations like you're at
I'm
home.
not familiar
the
at
whole
all.
show, the whole premise of the show was 911 calls, like real 911 calls. They had
is this like CSI or something?
No,
but is this like that type of show?
No, it was a reality. It was like one of the first reality shows.
It was real. It was real 911 calls.
Okay,
and they would reenact what happened
because they had the audio. All the audio was always recorded, so they reenacted to the audio.
Right. And William Shatner would host it, and they would, he'd be like, the fire truck was 17 minutes away.
Oh, the fire episodes, brutal. Oh. So I was scared of my kids, my brothers choking, cutting themselves, setting the house on fire. So no, I didn't do any of that. No hitting while the parents were gone.
Isn't it also weird that we called it babysitting, even if they were like 6 or 10?
Yeah,
they were. You need to babysit your brothers, or you need to babysit.
You heard it. Y'all are a bunch of babies.
Yeah, and I'm like, she's 9. She's not a baby.
Yeah,
kid sit. Nobody ever says kid sit.
There was one. Speaking of hitting each other, there was one time that maybe Chris will text me and tell me I got it wrong or something. So my brother's also. I think Chris is maybe 4 years younger, and then Micah's like 6 years younger. And as soon as my parents are out the driveway, they turned on me.
Oh.
And they put a whooping on me. They jumped on me. I wasn't ready for it. Once they got on me. Yeah, they kicked my butt.
Wow. Were you bleeding?
Yeah. No, I turned it around eventually, and then they had to run. But yeah, they jumped. I remember they jumped me. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, they got their little payback.
Were they trying to? Are we talking closed fist or
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What
Close
weapons?
Fist.
Okay,
Close fist. Yeah. More grappling. Hold me down, jump on me.
I was never in a physical altercation with. That's not really true. My brother and I used to wrestle. Like we would just kind of goof around. Not
we do that all the time. Like not pretend, but you're actually wrestling, but no punching.
Yeah, we weren't.
Nothing in the face.
Pillow
fights. No face or nuts.
Pillow fights, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are the best. Like serious. Because
you can put a whooping on somebody with a pillow. Mm-hmm. Let me just say. I mean, there's professional pillow fighting. I'm sure we've all seen it. Guys just going at each other in a ring with two pillows.
Yeah. That is something new. Yeah.
I can't say that I've seen professional pillow fighting.
It's out there.
Or competitive.
It's out there.
You
got to look it up.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It's actually quite entertaining. There's twisting moves and it's very strategic.
In the pillow fight world, I mean, I was pretty handy with a loaded sock.
Oh.
You just
loaded with what? Coins?
Well, just other socks.
Okay.
Okay. Like a soft.
You put a balled up roll pair of socks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you put that inside another sock.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
And that's a pretty good.
It's like
weapon.
a nunchuck almost.
Like a nunchuck. Yeah. That you get a lot more damage done.
Yeah. You have more mobility.
Maybe smaller than it's easier to handle than a pillow.
And if it comes back and hits you in the head, it's not that big of a deal. It's
me and Chris used to box
with gloves.
We would go in the room. Yeah, well, I would give him the glove. I would use the gloves so he wouldn't get hurt, and he would go bare knuckle. Because he was younger, he would get some licks in there too. Like it was pretty. We were pretty wild. It was for fun though. You
just reminded me of a really great Jackie Chan scene where the final fight, he puts on the bad guy puts on these big, huge boxing gloves, and Jackie Chan gets the really small gloves.
I don't know that
because earlier in the movie, the villain had beat Jackie Chan up real bad. And so they're like, yo, I'm going to put these big gloves. And he's like, oh, are you sure? So it was kind of a friendly fight to end the movie, but it was a really good.
I don't remember that.
One of my favorite Jackie Chan fights.
Which film is that? It's
the film is called Gorgeous.
Oh, I don't think I've.
You a Jackie Chan guy?
Oh,
Jackie Chan watcher?
Rumble in the Bronx. Rumble in the Bronx. Got it all started off.
Are you okay? No.
Rumble in the Bronx.
That was the one that kind of crossed over, and they translated it into English, and it played in theaters. And I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I definitely rented it when it came out.
Yeah,
and it blew me away. And I was like, "This dude is amazing." So I kind of went back and watched a lot of his old Hong Kong stuff, and I mean, they were just like
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, it was just insane. Like the fact that he was able to blend the comedy with the stunt work and the martial arts, and it was just a unique type of film. Like because it was a legit action movie because they were really doing everything. Yeah. But at the same time, it was hilarious because he was just running circles around everybody.
I'm a huge Jackie Chan fan. I've done a huge deep dive. Post Video Barn, I just went on a huge watching spree. The McKay's used books in Nashville had a bunch of Jackie Chan stuff, so I tried to get everything I could. I watched. So the scene you just described, you with your boxing gloves, there's a boxing glove scene in a Jackie Chan movie, and the movie is called Gorgeous. Definitely check that out.
Okay,
nice.
It's a fun.
I think Drunken Master is probably one of my favorites of the old school Jackie Chan films. That was great.
We would do a lot of karate stuff. We didn't know karate at all, but Karate Kid was played in our house 24/7. You know, so like we had the gis, you know, made. We would wear those, and of course, we never took karate lessons. You know, we couldn't afford it, but we would pretend, and you know, we would beat each other up. Man, it was so fun. It's so much fun beating each other up.
So I guess I'm different than you guys in that I had just one sibling, an older sister. So I did not.
So you're saying you weren't beating her up? That wasn't.
You weren't punching her bare knuckle.
I remember vividly the one time that she punched me and realizing the dilemma of I need to hit her back, but I can't.
But you can't, yeah.
And I just felt so helpless, and it was actually hurt worse because I couldn't do anything back.
Oh, for sure.
It felt like she hurt me like forever. Like there's never going to be a get back.
Does it still hurt
for this? I think it's still.
Yeah.
I think it's still.
I sense a little bit of a little trauma
like,
there.
Man, she really got me. She really got me, and there's nothing I can do.
All these years later,
and there's no one I can talk to. There's no one I can call. I had friends growing up. I usually have like one or two friends at a time, like we've talked about. And so, as far as like guy friends, I usually they're really close to me. It's like, okay, you're all I got for like guy friends. 'Cause I don't have like a brother. So I've always kind of had really intense guy friendships growing up. I worked with kids when I was doing youth group stuff. That's kind of how I worked out all my sibling rivalry / aggression / whatever. I did perform and practice wrestling moves on like neighborhood kids. I definitely used to ride my bike around and play basketball or whatever with like neighborhood kids and different stuff. So I tried all of those things.
Right. What about sleepovers? Any sleepovers?
Me and you had sleepovers all the time.
Dude. And
wait, Greg, hold on. I wasn't paying attention. He shook his head no?
He shook his head no, yeah.
Oh, man. We got to have a sleepover.
I was not... I mean, there's a lot of... this is stuff I usually reserve for my therapist, but my parents were not very trusting with me as far as going to other people's houses for sleepovers.
Gotcha.
I understand that.
And then because, the one time I had a sleepover, it wasn't a lot of fun.
That's funny.
So kids didn't come back. It was usually one and done.
Yeah.
One and done for sleepovers or any type of house visits.
Right.
So I had a very strict household that kids didn't have fun.
My parents were strict.
My parents would send us out in the street, but we couldn't watch PG movies. Get out of the house.
This was rated PG.
Don't come back till it's dark.
My parents were very strict in some ways, but in other ways, like sleepovers, they were all about it, especially if they knew the family.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of church-based stuff, like people they went to church with, so let's swap kids, basically, So we did that a lot. And there were certain families that had kids that matched up with each of my siblings as well. And so we would crisscross, the kids. Like I'd go to...
What you wanted to say applesauce.
I did.
I knew it. I could see it in your face.
I did.
Why did you hold back?
Because I knew B
was going to say something.
B was going to be like, "What the hell are you coming up with crisscross applesauce again?"
To say if this isn't a safe space, then what is?
Come on.
I just told you stuff that I give my therapist.
All right, it was crisscross applesauce, and we swapped kids, and it was like the '70s swapping spouses, but we swapped.
Oh,
the
gross.
family swapped the kids. I would go to like the friend's house, but then the younger brother would go to my house for my younger brother. Yeah, so they would, we'd like swap kids so that nobody ever had more than 4 or 5 kids. It was just, got to keep it even.
It all balanced out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, we had a few interesting ones, B.
Do you remember our first sleepover? I don't remember our first sleepover. Me and you have had plenty of sleepovers, but I don't remember our first.
There was that one where we listened to Boys to Men. I remember that one.
What?
You were so stoked because you got a CD of Boys to Men some kind of way, and you were like, dude, look what I got. And I was like,
I had to sneak it. It was hidden like underneath my bed.
yes,
Because that was one of the things parents were strict about. You couldn't listen to.
couldn't listen to any secular music.
I remember they found it.
Mm-hmm.
They found it in my room, and they both were like waiting for me when I got to the home.
Sitting on your bed, holding it.
Sitting on my bed, waiting for me, holding it, staring at me in the face. Brent, do you know what the lyrics say? It says, "I'll make love to you, Brent." They're talking about sex, Brent.
Okay,
So and I'm like 13.
We're talking about their second album, the Grammy album.
I'll make love to you.
I think so. Yeah.
That one.
Okay, wow,
Yeah,
It's a great album.
Yeah, I needed.
it was a good album.
What? How old do you think you were when that happened?
I feel like I was 13 or 14.
You think it was that old?
Okay.
I feel like
thought-
it. I mean, I had to get out to go buy it somehow.
Yeah, but
Couldn't have been a
when
kid.
did that album come out?
Are you older than me? Are you
No,
older than
we're all
me?
the same age.
Okay, my first concert ever was MC Hammer, Boys to Men, and Jodeci.
What?
And
That's your first concert?
That was my first concert ever.
Wow, what
And
a concert.
That concert, though, MC Hammer was doing the Too Legit to Quit tour. The Boys to Men had just come out, and so they toured that first album, like the Cooley High Harmony album, where that has Motown Philly, and they're all doing like the dances.
Yeah.
And then the next album was like when they grew up with the Boys to Men.
They became
like
men.
The album Make Love to You album. So I was just very curious. I was just like, man, what? I was very fortunate in that aspect.
Yeah.
Whatever I lacked in like brotherhood, sibling, whatever, they were very lax on music. I could watch it. I did get my first whooping though. Watch it because of Splash, which is PG, by the way, but they there's a lot of nudity in
80s
it.
PG.
So,
80s PG is different.
80s
This
PG
is another
different.
aside, but
I know this now.
apparently the version that Disney Plus put out when they got Splash, they actually covered up Daryl Hannah's ass in that one scene.
Really?
Yes, which...
Oh, the scene that I got a whipping
yeah,
for.
but
yes.
that's what I'm saying. But it was just horrible that they're messing with these old movies, and I'm
That
sorry.
whooping was all for naught now.
Yeah,
So they gave it the special edition
apparently,
treatment?
and they CG'd her crack apparently to. I
What
don't
do
know.
they do? It's just like just skin?
I haven't seen
I
it.
have to see this.
I haven't-
Or did they
I have
put
to
like
see this
underwear
immediately.
over
I
her?
haven't seen it. I just heard that they put out an edited version of it when it first, and people complained. They were like, "What the hell? This is Splash. You can't edit Splash."
I have to see this immediately. As soon as we stop recording, that's
Greg's like, "I've been going."
that's what
I'm
I
going to
have to
check
do.
out
I have
Splash.
to know. I have to know what they did. I remember that. There's probably it was my first nudity I ever saw, like ever.
Oh, what
And
was
so
my first nudity?
It's very pivotal. We talked about this on the other podcast, but that's a very pivotal piece of cinema for me.
It's
So
pivotal
I have to
for
know.
a lot of young men. It's
So, it's also why I was not invited to other kids' sleepovers, because I was the dude that watched Splash. Apparently, I don't know.
It's that freak.
yeah.
I'm
Splash
the
was
freaky
a very
perverted
popular
kid.
But
film.
Splash
A lot
was Splash was a good movie.
yeah.
It's a great movie.
Speaking of sleepovers and movies, though, do you remember me and B had a sleepover? I assume it was a birthday party at our friend James's house.
Yeah. This was one of the best.
And he
One of
had
the best.
a free HBO preview. Do you remember those?
Do you remember
Or-
those free HBO weekends?
Yes, you would get
Oh.
HBO free for a weekend.
I loved when I found out about it. My parents didn't know.
Yes. And then you were in your room like, oh, I can
Yeah.
watch this movie. And you check the TV guide like, what's playing
Yeah.
tonight? What's playing tonight? What's playing at 2 o'clock in the morning when they're sleeping?
Oh, Cinemax is free. What? Score.
No, but here's the thing. T2,
Yeah.
Terminator 2,
Terminator 2.
Judgment Day.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This time he's back. For good.
Trust me.
And dude, we were like, oh my God, Terminator 2 is playing tonight on HBO. And
Haven't even seen Terminator.
no, we hadn't even seen the first Terminator because we couldn't.
But we knew this was good.
We had seen the trailer for T2. We were like, oh my God, there's Liquid Metal Man. We got to watch this shit. And we were in the room. I'll never forget this. We watched the whole damn movie. Everybody was turning their head to the door behind us, like every few minutes, checking. Like, do you hear?
I think I heard something.
Do you hear his mom?
Mute it.
Mute it.
Yeah.
She's coming down the hall. Mute it. Change the channel. Like,
whole
the
time.
whole movie. We were like so nervous.
But we still enjoyed it.
We
were
still enjoyed
so
it, yes.
enraptured into it. Yeah, that was such a fun. Yeah.
Yeah, my parents didn't care about violence or action or anything like that.
It's just the nudity.
Yeah, mine was okay with the violence and action. I think it was specifically his mom was really hard on like anything over PG.
Yes. What was weird,
so
though,
that was it.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. It was
Right.
just over PG. No.
Yeah.
I think RoboCop was like the most violent movie I had ever seen.
Crazy violent.
Around that time. Okay, so the one sleepover that I'd had people at my house, it was for my birthday, and the movie we watched was Gremlins.
Oh,
And I remember one of my birthday presents was like I had like a little bow and arrow, and the arrows were like little suction cups. And so we kept trying to we took turns trying to shoot arrows at the TV.
Of course.
To hit the gremlins?
To hit the gremlins.
Nice.
And so that was the other reason that there weren't kids over after that.
Yeah, because they had little round marks all over the TV.
It was Gremlins, and then I think when everyone went to like my parents went to sleep, they turned on like Nightmare on Elm Street and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I went dark.
And I was scared. I'm not a horror guy.
Me either.
Gremlins is kind of a horror movie.
Yeah,
but it's like one I could take.
Yeah,
but I couldn't handle Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I wasn't cool after that. And so
no more sleepovers.
My wife and I actually watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Street and all of the Friday the 13th movies last October, which was a lot of bad movies. Let me just say.
Yeah, they're not good movies.
Well, the first ones of each are actually pretty legit, and then they go very up and down after that. It's every once in a while it's like, okay, this one's not bad, and then this one's just horrible. But yeah, it was an interesting experience because I was the same. I couldn't watch those movies when I was a kid. So when I tell her this, she's like, "You've never seen Friday the 13th?" And I'm like, "No, I just couldn't watch it." And when I was older, I didn't. I was like, I feel like an idiot watching Nightmare on Elm Street. It just seemed cheesy to me after that. But some of those actually have some legit kind of haunting scenes. Like there's a reason they got popular.
Okay, what about the Scream movies?
Those I don't consider horror. They're more thriller to me.
There's a guy with a knife stabbing people. How more horrific?
It was more thriller. It was just like, it's like Scooby-Doo. It was like Scooby-Doo for me. It was like a mystery. Who is it? Oh, it was him all along.
Scream is a different genre of horror than what we've been talking about. Yeah, I would say.
But I
agree, it's different.
Now that I've watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets and all of the Friday the 13th movies, I don't consider them that scary. Like they're not scary. They're very cheesy. They're very kind of over the top. They get crazy cartoonish by the end, both of them. And I mean, Freddy is like a cartoon, and he's playing video games with the dude. Yeah, it's very kind of wacky, especially the Freddy films. Friday the 13th kind of alternates back between being cheesy and kind of horrific, but none of them are. I don't know. I didn't have nightmares or anything. But now
I did see. This is when I was older. The Blair Witch Project when I was in theater. When it came out, and that scared. I was 18 or 19. That scared me.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
I remember trying to walk to my house from my car to the house, and it's dark, and it's kind of walking a little fast, Yeah.
Do you remember, B? I'm pretty sure you came to this. My youth group back in the day at the church I went to
had a
lock-in.
Hated it.
Was this a thing that everybody did? Because I'm like, what was the purpose of this? They basically got the whole youth group to go to the church, and we were just locked in. Not really, though, because people were going outside and walking around. But we stayed overnight at the church and basically had a mass sleepover. Did Greg? You're nodding your head. I'm assuming this has happened to you as well.
I didn't do it. I didn't experience it until I was like out of high school.
Oh, you chaperoned it.
Was working it as a youth volunteer.
Oh, that's worse.
But yes, I've participated in a lot of lock-ins.
Okay.
I remember thinking, because you're around other kids, other boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the boys that wanted to go because the girls were going to be there.
Yes.
And those were the boys that would talk to the girls. I wasn't a boy that would talk to the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk to the girls, but it terrified me. Yeah. So it was just up all night of just being terrified of maybe if I'd have to talk to a girl. But I wanted to, you know.
Yeah, that girl's looking at me.
Oh God.
Should I walk over to her, or should I just stay here and tremble?
I'll just tremble. Let's go play air hockey.
Yes.
I never felt that way about church girls.
That was the only girls I was around.
So when I was very young, my sister had her friends, and so these were like to me they were actual women, right? And not the girls that were in my grade. So my sister's 4 years older than me, so they would make fun of me and try to tease me or try to get the guy to come out or whatever. But they were scared of me. But we didn't do lock-ins at the Holy Temple Missionary Baptist in Memphis.
Well, that's a mouthful. Yeah, I had never understood the purpose of it. Like, was it just a mass sleepover? Was it like, were they trying to prepare us for the book of Revelation? Like,
we didn't do anything. I don't remember there being like anything Bible study related.
Exactly. Like, was it just a mass sleepover? Like, I feel like that's all it was, right?
Former youth pastor here to tell you
Go ahead.
About the secret of the lock-ins.
Okay, what was the purpose?
The purpose of any gathering of kids is almost always to give parents a break.
To procreate and make more kids.
At their discretion. Or give them an alternative thing to do that's not like getting out and doing drugs or whatever, or getting into trouble. But we teach them about fasting and teach them about like different things. We'd have like a prayer time and at least one little lesson to kind of talk about how special it is to get together as a group of kids,
community.
Whatever. But a lot of times it's a parents' night.
It's a babysit.
Like the same time you would have like a parents' night out or whatever.
The church needs more
have all the kids at
people
the
in the congregation, so they're hoping the parents will take the opportunity when the kids are out of the house to.
9 months after that.
Yes, 9 months after that lock-in, you got a new congregation member there.
And it was, you can't fall asleep because they're going to terrorize you.
Yes.
You know, like you got those group of kids. You know, so then you're scared. I don't know. I was always scared in social situations.
Well, that's because we're introverted. And look, here's the thing. I don't blame my introversion on my siblings, but I will say that I was always very comfortable around my siblings. I never was introverted. I had a huge family. I had 4 siblings and 2 parents. We were 7 people when we went somewhere. We were like a mob.
Yeah, you came so many people. You couldn't,
You know?
You're almost, I don't want to say codependent, but, maybe dependent on them.
Right.
Know?
You're so used to living with all of these people, you would think that would make me a social person, right? Because I'm constantly surrounded by a bunch of people. But I think it might have actually had the opposite effect, where I was like, when I went into an unfamiliar crowd, I withdrew. And I was like, you know what? No, I don't.
No, I think mine comes more from before they were born, when I was the only kid.
Mm-hmm.
My father was really strict then.
Yeah.
And that's where mine came from.
Right.
My father was very strict. He was also very outgoing. My older sister, is also very outgoing, very just take over the room, both of them. So I'm pretty sure I became introverted because of the combination of that.
Right.
Like, couldn't get a word in. I just learned you don't have to get a word in.
Yeah.
Just sit back, let them do the talking.
Yeah. And it made you a good listener.
Look who's talking now, though, huh?
That's right. You know what? They both could have done podcasting very easily. I'm surprised that my sister doesn't have one right now. She might she might get inspired to do that
Yeah.
at some point. She's definitely still the talker.
Well, she's welcome to
in
guest
the
if she would like any
Let's have
time.
her. Let's call her up one day.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that would be crazy.
we're going to tell all the stories that Greg refuses to tell about his childhood.
Tell us that story when you beat the shit out of Greg. Because he's still traumatized.
She got me one smack on the head. She smacked me one time.
Hey, my sister used to slap me. My oldest sister. Here's the thing. I was given a video camera as a temporary gift from one of my cousins because she didn't need it. She was like, "Look, I'm moving, and I don't have room for everything right now, and until I get settled, you can borrow my video camera." And this was like a VHS RCA big ass video camera.
Mm-hmm.
This is
a strap you wrap around your shoulder.
Yes, exactly. This is where you had to put it on your shoulder to use it.
Mm-hmm.
This is where all my wanting to start making movies and stuff. Like once I got my hands on an actual camera, and I would follow my siblings around with this camera and just terrorize them. Like, because I was trying to make a movie and nobody wanted to make a movie with me. They were just like, "No, we don't want to be on camera." So yeah, it was rough. But made for some great home movies. I'll say that.
I bet, yeah.
We've got some great old footage of them screaming at me and trying to slap me. Good stuff.
Oh, speaking of that, we've got a Christmas video. So Chris got a bicycle for Christmas. I forget what happened, but he ran right into me on the bike. And he gets off like fussing me. Like, "Mom, look what Brent did."
You were in the way,
it's on
man.
video. Like he just ran right into me. Boom. Yeah, it was good.
That sounds like Chris.
Christopher's got the best stories though.
Yeah.
There was one Sunday where they're praying at the end, and it's quiet. Let us pray.
Closing prayer.
Yeah, closing prayers. And Christopher just screams out, "Shit!" Wow, too. The whole church. Shit.
What did your parents do?
I don't know.
They were like, "Well,
we
you're
got
definitely
spankings.
getting
We all
a
got
spanking
spankings.
when
You're
you
all
get home."
getting spankings.
The whole church is getting a
panic
spanking.
You
mode.
all got spankings for that?
I'm sure, yeah. Every Sunday, it was a spanking. Every
They
Sunday.
didn't know who said it. They were like, "Is that Brent? Is that?"
Well, Christopher obviously probably blamed it on me. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. In the middle, the whole. My poor mom, man. No wonder they spank us
Well, no
every
wonder
Sunday.
she's dancing to Brick House now.
Yeah, she's free from this trauma. Chris is gonna have to listen to this episode because
I never did anything that crazy. I do remember all dressing up like Robin Hood and his merry men, using socks on our wrists, and we made bows.
Oh, you like cut a hole?
Yeah, we
in
cut
it or
like the
something?
sock, like the ankle part of the sock, and just stuck it for how they wore those.
Yeah,
the bow and arrow guards. I don't know what they call them.
Yeah,
there's a name.
I think that's it.
And we made bows,
wrist guards.
Yeah, wrist guards, and we made bows out of sticks and string, and
we had a lot of those.
Yeah,
a lot of homemade bows
running around the backyard with paint on our faces and pretending to be Robin Hood. It was, we had a lot of fun. Siblings are fun. I think people who are only children, it's a different upbringing. Also, if you have siblings who are considerably older than you, like there's a huge age gap, I feel like that's a different, different experience as well. But I'm still close with most of my siblings. I
am.
They're all over the place now, but
me and the younger one talk more than me and the middle one. But me and the middle one, Chris, we still chit chat.
Yeah,
we'll send each other an Instagram video of some cool basketball game or something. We kind of tortured Micah too, even as adults.
I recall that. Yeah, Micah was sort of the. I think that happens in every larger family. There's always a sibling who's kind of, I don't want to say ostracized, but
torment. Yeah. So he was in his 20s. I was maybe late 20s. And me and Chris had a bright idea. Usually you do this whenever they're young.
Right.
when they're little. You tell them they're adopted, and they believe it. No, we planned this out and did it in his 20s.
Oh my god!
So the way we did it, I think I was talking to him about it, and it had just so what had happened. The best lies have a little bit of truth in it,
Of course.
right? Or some truth somewhere in there. He had just found out that one of his classmates that he went to school with since they were kindergarten was adopted. No one knew. Just found out. I said, "Oh yeah, you didn't know that." I'm like, "Well, that's funny you didn't know that because that's your twin sister. You are also adopted." So that little bit of truth right there made him question.
Right.
Now he thinks that's his sister, his twin sister, and they were separated at birth, adopted. And he's like, he didn't believe me at all. At all. And I'm like, no, ask Chris. So that's when Chris comes into the picture and he knew,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so-and-so's your sister, your twin sister, dude. We do we do everything. And like, oh man, we had him going for a while. I forget how I think he asked my mom. We'll have to ask my mom if she remembers that story. But yeah, he finally went and asked them, like crying as an adult or something.
Seriously?
Like,
wow.
Oh yeah, it was like it affected him.
You actually
like,
got him. Like you.
Oh yeah, no, we really got him. He really thought he was adopted.
Wow. You just look in the mirror. He looks just like your dad. Like he's.
Yeah, especially now, like just like him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and nothing like that other person. Like to be your twin. What? You have different birthdays, dude. But it's like that little bit to create that doubt.
The kernel of truth is how you get the lie to work. Yeah, you gotta.
That was the last time we messed with either one of us because that one crossed the line.
It was too much. Yeah,
it was too much.
I can't say I ever did anything like that with my siblings. I mean, I used to like try to fake them out about stuff, but I never went that far where it was serious. Like you aren't part of this family.
You're not part of it. We don't even, I think we even said certain things like you never wondered if something was different growing up,
right? And he starts thinking back on the memories.
Every kid thinks that, yeah. Thinking back, like
something's off.
Am I part of this family?
Yeah.
These people are crazy.
How old was he when you did that?
In his 20s. We were all adults. He was the youngest. I might have been almost 30. We were way too old to be doing that.
Wow.
We're close, though. Yeah, love him. Love him like a adopted stepbrother.
Greg, you got any more stories about your sister? Anything else? It's probably weird. It's a little different if she was that much older than you.
So she was in high school, and then when she graduated, after she graduated, was my freshman year.
Okay. So
we were never in high school together. A lot of people that knew her when I came in, it's like, oh, that's Angela's brother, etc. But they couldn't believe it because she was so cool and popular and all that stuff. And it's just like, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this guy?
Mine was, I was the opposite. I was uncool and shy. Christopher came along in the middle one, and he was like super popular.
Yeah. Greg had not yet got his glasses. That's
Well, I wore glasses my entire childhood,
but not those glasses.
Not those glasses.
But they were not a fashion piece. They actually were too big for me then. But whenever I could start picking my glasses, or whenever I finally grew into them, I was still ashamed of wearing glasses, and I tried to get like really small glasses. Yeah. And I was really trying to hide it.
Microscopic.
To the point where, I would get like the smallest pair I could get to kind of I didn't want to accentuate the fact that I needed glasses. Yeah. Wearing really oversized big glasses now, like I do, is pretty new to the game.
At some point, when we are all in the same area, we'll just have a sleepover.
We have to have a sleepover.
It won't be weird.
We're having a pillow fight.
It won't be weird
First
at
of
all.
all.
Like 3 mid-40s guys having a
We
sleepover.
could get an Airbnb and it won't be a sleepover.
Right.
It'll be like,
but
we're
I'm
just
saying,
on a
look,
road trip.
we'll watch movies and we'll just bond
some pizza.
more and
We'll stay up all night like as a lock-in.
exactly.
Man, I've kind of given up on the idea of getting married, right? But I've always thought it would be cool to have like a bachelor party,
Dude,
of just for the
Let's
heck
do
of
it.
it, and like
Let's do it.
invite a bunch of guys and just like kick
'Cause
it
you-
super hard.
The
Like,
bachelor
I do wanna
party
do
is
that.
celebrating the bachelorhood ending.
Exactly.
Well, you need to embrace being a bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
So it's
let's
not it's a
celebrate that.
bachelor
I've never
party
done it.
celebrating that he is still a bachelor,
Still a bachelor.
and
That's right.
It's
I do want to do that at some
all right.
point,
It
and
makes
like
total-
stay in a nice hotel and just kick it,
Yeah.
and like maybe movies, or maybe just
create some
hit a
stories.
nice rooftop bar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not hangover style.
No,
but
no,
I don't
that's
wanna go
insane.
crazy.
but,
no
you know,
tigers, no
But,
tigers. Mike
like
Tyson.
5 years from now, when we're having an episode, we'll be like, "Hey, man, remember when we had that bachelor party? Yeah, Greg said blah 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 blah
That's
blah."
before Greg had his 3 kids
Yeah,
and his peanut butter loving
Oh
wife.
my gosh!
right. Remember we
Oh my
hired that
goodness.
stripper? She came in with a bunch of peanut butter.
I went on a coffee date with someone years ago, and on date 1, I found out and she was single, never been married, all that, but she had adopted 3 kids.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And that's like day 1 is like that's you start
So
there
single
with
and
3.
adopt. Wow.
Was it
I was impressed,
Sandra
but
Bullock?
also
Is it
like
Sandra
overwhelmed.
Bullock or Sheryl Crow?
You went on a date with Sandra Bullock?
Isn't Sandra Bullock single and has like a bunch of adopted kids? Right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it
want to
Sarah
say
McLachlan?
Sarah McLachlan. No.
No, she has
She's
the animal. She
sponsored.
has the
saying,
animal.
Doesn't she sponsor the
She's
kids?
got
She
long
sponsors the
hair.
animals.
She's got long hair. I don't think she likes peanut butter. I've never seen her eat it in a movie.
Never seen it.
Right?
Nope.
Sandra Bullock might be she might be the one.
Yeah.
I liked
Sandy
her in
B.
Love Potion number 9.
That is a good one. That's a good one.
Sandy B. Speed,
That's
man.
the one.
Speed.
Yeah. And she knows Keanu Reeves,
I
so you
didn't
can
like
hook
her
us
in
up to
Speed.
get
Fell in
Keanu
love with
Reeves
her
on the
in
show.
Speed. The net.
Man, y'all really think I have like some kind of celebrity connection?
No,
and I really don't.
I think
We think you just didn't know who it was. You're like, screw you. You got all these adopted kids. Sandy?
No, I didn't name, because we're still recording. I didn't name the woman that
Right, that's
has
why I
the
was
3
saying
kids.
it could be Sandra Bullock. I was just kidding.
Yeah, it
It could be.
Could be.
As
Yeah.
far as the listener knows.
Not everything we say has to be true.
Everything I say has to be true because I'm not a liar. That's
I lie for you, though, Greg.
Yeah.
I lie for you if you haven't noticed. I put a lot of words in your mouth.
Well, good game, everybody.
Good game.
Happy Siblings Day.
Yep.
Today's not Siblings Day, but maybe it'll come out on Siblings Day. I don't
It is in our hearts.
in our hearts. It's always Siblings Day.
Yeah.
This one stays in the can until National Soup. I think we just missed it, actually. I
go.
think we really just missed it.
Oh, well.
Hey, this is Greg from the Introverse podcast. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We're also on Introverse Pod on social media. Thank you so much for listening.
What he said.
Yep. Nailed it.
Boom.